In yet another setback for the Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi High Court has today upheld his arrest by the CBI. We are being joined by CBI's counsel, Advocate DP Singh. Sir, you called him the Sutradhar of this entire conspiracy, and now the High Court has in fact said that his arrest by CBI was legal. How do you see court's today's order?
No, I see it as our vindication that the CBI arrested him not as the insurance arrest as it was being called, but we had sufficient material to arrest and there were reasons to arrest for at this particular time, and rather our quick completion of the investigation within 30 days of arrest shows that we were ready with everything else and only the loose ends needed to be tied, and those needed to be tied only after his arrest because there was some reluctance by witnesses which was necessary that his arrest is made. Some of the questions that were left to be answered by him, though he did not answer them. So for all that reason his arrest was necessary, and influence was writ large. That we came out through the evidence coming out of Punjab and also coming out of Goa in these 30 days.
So his arrest has been held to be legal, but the court hasn't dismissed his bail plea as such. They've sent him back to the trial court. So legally speaking, does that mean that there's still scope of relief and the court hasn't really decided on the merits as far as his bail is concerned?
See, bail, according to me, does not decide whether somebody is guilty or not guilty. The parameters of bail are way different. Bail only means that he has to suffer the trial, and he can suffer the trial, and there's no danger of him either running out, or the gravity of offense is not such that he needs to be kept behind bars. But I think influence is one of the main issues. So two things, I'm very clear that the gravity of his role is enormous, and his influence and the influence that he can exercise on the witnesses is also there. So we will be contesting, but I think the bigger victory for, as I see, is that all the hullabaloo that was created about illegal arrest has been busted and we have been vindicated.
So his lawyers had questioned the timing of his arrest by CBI, calling it an insurance arrest and also saying that CBI's entire case is based on hearsay evidence. How do you respond to that?
There is no hearsay evidence. That is exactly what I argued, and I am now telling you, against him there is so much of documentary and oral evidence which is direct and as direct as it can get. There are circumstantial evidence, but there is nothing called hearsay. There are circumstantial evidences, there is oral evidence, there is documentary evidence, and in so many cases that I have contested both for defense and this, I think in this case there is more than sufficient evidence that a prosecution agency has collected. As far as insurance arrest, I have just told you, insurance arrest could have been just to keep him inside, we could have arrested him. So it cannot be insurance arrest for two reasons. One, we could have arrested him after he came out. So does not bar us. And the material has already shown that we had such material to arrest him. So it can't be an insurance arrest. Insurance arrest is nothing, but it is a abhorring term for me because it is used only to create a flutter in the public, not for basic or to create an impression in the court about somebody's innocence, which was certainly not there and court could see it.
So last question, his lawyers had raised this question before the court as well as to why the CBI did not make Delhi's LG as an accused, even though he had also approved the entire liquor policy. Your response to that?
They backed out of that because see, LG, their own note says that LG is not needed to be even consulted as far as this is concerned, because this is a transferred subject. Mr. Manoj Sisodia's his own handwriting, he says it need not to be sent. But then I believe it was sent because Supreme Court said even though there are transfer subject where LG has no powers, but you should just send him for approval or for his guidance or something of that sort. Those are COVID days. LG had stated in his statement that there are two quick bouts of COVID were there, and he had sent this file back with only one observation, oral observation, that this should not be, a power should not be given to the minister to make the policy. It should be Council of Ministers. So therefore, those 7 things that these are LG suggestions and we have complied with is all, it has come through witnesses, and I cannot elaborate on it. Take it from me that there is evidence that this was never suggested by the LG. LG had no powers of approval. LG did not give approval. LG had only said he has been apprised, he has seen it, and the file was given back. So when there cannot be an approval on a transferred subject, it is not even within his powers to change it. And it is the implementation of policy which has gone wrong. How is the LG to concern with it? Because it was done by a group of ministers, Council of Ministers was supposed to do it. And in this case, none of the Council of Ministers was an expert on liquor. No suggestions were taken from Excise Department. No expert was consulted by the group of ministers. And the policy was made. Actually, the policy was given by the South group, who were all, champions in liquor business. So they knew how to manipulate it, and that was made not with the approval of LG, but that was made by the group of ministers much after LG file has come from LG's office.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir. With yet another setback from the Delhi High Court today, the liquor gate heat on Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal clearly seems to be increasing. With camera person Lokendra Pandey from New Delhi, this is Srishti, Ojha, India Today.